How you doing, everybody? It's me, your handsome lad Tuxedos here. Then warmly, I would like to welcome you to Minecraft Snapshot 23w43a. I got a question. Did you foresee the bat getting updated inside of this next update? Because if you did, you're flat out straight out lying. Oh boy. Today, just a mere few days before one of the best holidays of all time, Minecraft Snapshot 23w43a dropped, and oh, you gotta check this. Oh my gosh, the amount of blocks inside of this update, it like almost clears the wild update. Inside of this snapshot, we have all of these blocks, and actually, to be honest, when it comes to copper bulbs, we kind of, in a way, have like double that too. In honor of all these brand new beautiful blocks, tap that like button right now, and let me know your favorite down below. So the blocks are beautiful and all, and oh yeah, by the way, so is my suit. I got fully suited up for this occasion. Figured it's a big deal. Anyways, blocks are beautiful and all, but I feel like it would be not fair of me to like tease the whole bat update and then not talk about it right away. Look at this brand new bat model and animations. First off, the animation is like a little bit more bouncy, and the wings, they're like a little bit more intense flapping there. If that checks out, does that make sense? The sounds are all the same as far as I can tell, but oh my gosh, this thing is just like adorable. Please, developers, update the bat and make it like actually have a drop or something like that. It looks so good now. It's perfection. I love it, but I also love all these brand new beautiful blocks. From trapdoors to doors to brand new bricks to brand new chisels. We got a lot to run through. Let's start over here. It all begins Minecraft Live 2023 a couple weeks ago. We saw a brand new beautiful structure, and then all over that structure, we got a lot of brand new cool looking blocks. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure every single one of these new blocks has now officially made it into Snapshot inside of this snapshot. This first one is going to be called Chiseled Copper. Oh yeah, and by the way, for every single copper thing, just like with the OG, the classic copper, the stuff we have for a while, you can wax this stuff with honeycombs and unwax it with an axe. Don't believe me? Just check it. We got a door right here. I go ahead and use the axe and wax off. I go ahead and use the honeycomb and wax on. It's gonna work like that for every single one, just like it always has. We kick things off with this brand new chiseled copper block. This thing looks so good, and of course, as it oxidizes, what I was trying to do here is like show you the plain old normal copper block and how it kind of stacks up and compares. Obviously, for building, this is a huge W. You could detail your build, or maybe even there's gonna be a whole lot of investigative work and discovery today, but I was thinking maybe even you could line up a button right in the middle and like, look at that, you almost have like arrows pointing right to the button in the middle, like, hey, press this button, something cool will happen. So the block itself is pretty all-out beautiful and wonderful. You may be wondering how you can craft this thing. Well, first things first, if we wanted to, instead of the oh, I still always forget that with copper, you make this like solid block version and it doesn't really do anything. Like it can exist like that, but that's it. If you wanted to pull this off inside of a crafting table, to make the chiseled version of copper, you need slabs first. Then you can go ahead and stack the slabs up just like that. On the other hand, and probably the much better hand, we could slide into a stone cutter with a plain old classic copper block, cut it into cut copper, and then take the cut copper and do nothing with it. Yeah, so my point here is if you want to make any of these copper things inside of the stone cutter, you start and end with this copper block right here. If I go ahead and take this and select that, it does. Just like with cut copper, split into 4 variants. I love the attention to detail, the consistency. Just like in my hopes and my dreams and stuff quadruples, just like with the cut copper. Next up, moving on to a very interesting version of copper. This stuff is called the copper grate block. Look at this thing. It's almost like a copper window, if you will, but like a fully solid block. But wait, what's that? Fully solid block? No, I take it back. The copper grate block, listen. Oh boy, it sure does sound great when you place it. No pun intended at all. But also, check out what's happening down below it, or more specifically, what isn't happening down below it. You see the copper grate block? It's basically like the copper version of glass. Mobs are not meant to be able to spawn on this block. Bruh. So you're busted. And you could build a full ceiling out of this thing, walk around on it forever, and it doesn't matter. Like, light is being fully let through right down below it. It's a brand new option for Windows, and I love it. It's so clean looking. Can't wait to see what Optifine does with, like, connected textures there. That's gonna look so good. Now, a little bit interestingly, the only way to craft a copper grate is inside of the stone cutter with these blocks. And again, common theme here, every single time we craft these things, they're cut into 4s right there. I love that they did that. I was so nervous when I was seeing these at Minecraft Live. I was like really wondering if they would pull that mechanic through. But yeah, sure enough, they checked out. They pulled it through. Alright, and then next up, let's go ahead and run a couple science experiments with this thing. First things first, redstone. Let's try and send power straight through the block, and pretty quickly we're gonna realize it doesn't matter. Strongly powered, weakly powered, it's not gonna transmit any redstone signals at all. Next up, very ethically, let's go ahead and attempt to torment one of our worst enemies over here. We put a husk inside of this thing, flick it, and oh no, it's suffocating. So I think I might have accidentally kind of broke this snapshot, the changelog or whatever. I don't know what's going on, but the blocks, once you wax them, it doesn't really behave how it's meant to. That's, I think, why the creeper spawned down here. These blocks are all waxed, but if they were unwaxed, mobs shouldn't be spawning down here. So basically, how it's meant to work is if we had any unwaxed version, and it doesn't matter if it's weathered, aged, whatever, it's not really meant to actually, like, suffocate anything. But it seems to just, like, not really exactly fully work right yet. Maybe they'll fix it next week. So far, so beautiful. Next up, let's take a look at the copper door because I really like this thing. As you would kind of probably predict, to craft a copper door is just like you're crafting all the other doors. Unfortunately, tragically, that's all black and white because we can't craft copper doors out of the cut copper, the one that you like 4 times multiplied or whatever. Also, if I try and get a little bit creative here with my design and mix and match, it's not going to work. However, you can craft the already oxidized ones if you have the oxidized blocks, doesn't matter. Now the door itself, I was thinking with it being made out of metal, maybe it'll be something like the iron door, but no, you could just walk up to this thing and open it and check out the sounds. So every sound is exactly the same for the different like weathered or oxidized states, but like, oh, it's clean looking. And I love the door too, like the handle, the copper texture, all of it is great. Now one thing that is a little bit confusing to me with the copper door, we'll talk a little bit more about it in a second though, is this one right here. If I go ahead and tap the pressure blade, it's like literally an oak door. It basically swings open, closes. Same thing with the button. I press it, swings open, then it closes. Just to keep that whole functionality in mind, we'll come back to why I think it should be different for this and the trapdoor in a minute. We learned about the door, now we learned about the trapdoor. Unfortunately, just like with the door, if you want to craft this thing, it's fully solid blocked up blocks and it's inside of a crafting table. Oh boy, that's very expensive. But is it worth it? I mean, maybe it's worth it. It's a super clean looking design. Like, it looks really good. You close it, it blends in like perfectly, kind of as you would expect with the copper block. If you pay close attention to detail here, you will notice that it's basically kind of like this design, but with the dark spots like cut out right there. That looks so good, and look at that thing. It's like a proper wheel, a circle. Builders are gonna go crazy with this one. So all of these copper blocks right here, they're almost perfect, and they're very beautiful. And next up, it's about time we put the icing on the cake here with this brand new beautiful bulb. We got a copper bulb added to Minecraft inside of this snapshot. And oh boy, this thing is advanced. It's got a lot to it. Alright, so for starters here, if you want to get your hands on a copper bulb, it's actually not done inside of the stone cutter. That's because you need a couple other ingredients. If you want to craft this thing, it's 3 blocks of copper, a blaze rod, and a redstone dust. Fortunately, that's going to turn it into 4 copper bulbs, which means if you're trying to build it with like this stuff, like, I mean, you could turn it into 4 of those. It's a little bit bigger. Check that out though. Once I craft this thing and place it down, not only is it not oxidized at all, just like other copper, but also the signal is fully off. Instead, if I want to go ahead and change that, I'm going to need to pulse it with a little bit of power. Check that out. I give it a little bit of power and all of a sudden the bulb turns on. If I go ahead and give it a little bit more power, look at that. We got a little bit of a red dot in the middle and the bulb is off until I turn the power off. Alright, so I said the bulb is off. Check this out. Over here, I have a little bit of a wall situation going on. These ones up here, those are just for show. Nothing's going to happen. Pay attention to the middle row. As soon as I flick this on, we have a redstone dot in the middle and the light turns on. Then I go ahead and turn this off. The redstone dot goes away, but this whole block, it stays on. If I go ahead and power it again, now we have a redstone dot in the middle and the block is off. And then finally, go ahead and get rid of the power. Redstone dot in the middle goes away. And now that behavior, it's going to be exactly the same for all of the other versions of this block as well. If you're feeding this thing power continuously, that red dot is going to stay on in the middle. As soon as the power is taken away, the red dot goes away, but the state stays exactly the same. If it was lit up, it will stay lit up. That is, until we power it again. Then we get the redstone dot, and I don't know if you're getting like the whole pattern here, but like, yeah, it's a pretty clean thing, and I like it. That means we actually kind of have like almost a bunch of different versions of this thing. Like, if you want to have a redstone dot in the middle, you just leave the power source on it somewhere, like forever. Say a lever behind it or something like that. That's amazing. So it's not only like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, but like double it. It's like 16 versions if you want to include this minor subtle difference in the texture right there. I kind of love it. Now all of a sudden it's the middle of the night, and sure enough, as we can see here, the copper bulb is indeed a bulb. It's lighting things up. However, check it out in this field over here. It gets a little bit more apparent what's going on. The fully normal, non-oxidized version of this block gives a light level 15, brightest thing in the game. After that, if we let it oxidize a little bit, light level 12. Oxidize a little bit more, all the way down to 8. Little fun fact, this is the first thing in the game that gives off a light source of 8 in survival. And then finally, oxidize it all the way, and oh, it's dim. Only a light level 4. In case you were wondering, the fact that this thing has current power or not, like the redstone dot or not, it doesn't change the light level at all. The only difference that happens is that small thing in the middle of the texture. This right here, the customizability of it all. How you could like place it down, turn it on, and just leave. And then also, how you could let it oxidize and get dim. You could make the spookiest build of the world. It's an evil Halloween themed build. Just in time for the season. Now really, I could go on all day long about how this thing is so cool and so amazing, but check this out. As you would probably expect, as soon as we power this thing, the observer sees it. If I remove that, the observer actually sees it again. Then if I go ahead and power it, the observer sees it, and when this redstone dot goes away, the observer sees it again. This bulb right here is a block update detector, or like pulse taker, pulse reader, for worse English. It's so cool. It's pretty straightforward, but just in case you were maybe wondering or something, look at that cool looking design, and if I press a button, sure enough, the bulb will turn on, and then when the button unpresses, it will stay on. So out of all these copper blocks right here, they're beautiful, they're cool. I love the unique properties of that bulb. The grate is really, really great too. Next though, we gotta move on, there's even more. The Tuff block, the classic one. No sounds have changed, and the texture is exactly the same as well, but oh, what's this? Now we can cut it down into staircases, slabs, and a wall too. Oh, it's beautiful, perfect, it's wonderful, and hey, wait a second, speaking of walls. Wait just a second. It's the one thing we didn't get with these copper blocks. I hope it could maybe still be on the way. What about like say a cut copper wall with like you take this block, you merge it with this block right there, and yeah, you know, it's another copper building option. Please, I'm begging you, on my hands and knees, a cut copper wall, please. Come on, let's negotiate. Anyways, hope that works. Moving on to polished tuff. If you want to make polished tuff inside of the crafting table, it's just like that. Alternatively, you can craft all of these variants inside of the stone cutter. And to be honest, it's probably a lot easier to do it here. Now, just like how it works with other blocks in the game, other than copper, it doesn't like cut into 4 blocks or nothing like that. Here's the sound. Polished tuff is beautiful. You can turn it into staircases and slabs and walls, and this is just a clean looking texture. It's almost like andesite, but like toned down a little bit more. It's like old and almost like future-y looking at the same time, like steampunky, right? Like it looks so good. Quick thing fast, where will we find this in the future? It's not in this snapshot, but oh yes, that's right, the trial chambers. This block right here, it's called Chiseled to Tuff, and look at that. That's a wind design on this block. It goes and it curves, and it goes and it curves. That's for the breeze, baby. Chiseled Tuff is so nice looking. On the top of it, you get this little swirl going on too. It's like a nautilus shell or something. I don't know. That's really nice looking. I love the side of it though. That's gonna be a really nice accent block, or like a base of a build, and maybe a line in the middle of your build. I don't know what you want to do, but yeah, like look at how good it looks. It's wonderful. But now it's time for the prize. The true winner of it all is this block right here. Oh my gosh, it's beautiful. It's perfection. New sound. Oh, and it's wonderful looking. It's bricks, but like we got some depth, some detail. It's almost green toned going on there. That's one of the best looking bricks, or maybe the best looking brick in the entire game. How do they keep doing this? They add a new brick, and every time it gets better. We had stone bricks, then we had blackstone, then we had deep slate, and now we get this beauty. I gotta go to the Tuff mines. It looks so good, and it looks like actually like has a lot of depth in it. I like it. Check this out. It kind of reminds me of deep slate as well, where like you take the polish and the crafting table and you turn it into Tuff, or if you wanted to, you could do it over here too. Now, as you would expect, we get the staircase version, the wall version as well, and I like it. This is so different. I feel like this is a really unique looking texture for Minecraft. And then finally, oh, what's this? Chiseled Tuff bricks. This thing, look at this. Another amazing detail. Right here, lads, laddies, besties, everyone, we got another amazing looking block. Look at that, with the squiggles right there in the top. Oh, you take a seat. It's like almost reminds me of like a diamond block or something. That's an amazing looking floor, and it's a shame we can't rotate this, because that would be a really cool looking fake window too. I think I'm just in love. I think I'm just in love with every single one of these blocks today. They're all mine. None of you can touch them. I'm sorry. Now, anytime they add a new brick, you know what I have to do. I need to take all the bricks and line them up next to each other. I kind of made a short little gradient right here. We got the light bricks, then we got some random colors, and then stone. Then we kind of got tough. Then we kind of got deep slate. And honestly, I can't tell. Like, you let me know. Should these two be swapped around? I don't know. But anyways, they look really, really good compared to all the other bricks. As you can see here, the texture is like basically flipped this time. It's pretty cool. All those new blocks are amazing, but listen to this. Aha! When that pearl lands, instead of just the damage sound, it's like a Enderman sound now. You like teleport properly. Oh, that's so cool. Let's check out the changelog for our data pack changes this week, because data pack changes, we got a lot of stuff here. To be honest, I'm not even sure really what I'm looking at. I don't know what to make of it, but you can make of it. In the world of bug fixes, probably the most notable one has to do with the crafter, and check this out. In last week's snapshot, if I tried to place things in the output slot, they would just get deleted. And now they don't. Also, I don't know if I ever looked at that bottom texture or showed it off. I don't really think so, but that's beautiful looking. Check out the crafter video next. Alright, so the final thing I told you to remember, I wanted to leave it to the very end of the video. Don't want to be too negative. Very, very happy day. What I feel like should happen though with these trapdoors is you should be able to pulse the trapdoor and it should stay on and like open. Then I would pulse it again and it would close. And I feel like same thing with these things here. I feel like you should also totally be able to still like interact with the block yourself because it's not iron or anything like that. I feel like the whole pulsing mechanic should basically replicate the whole copper bulb. You don't need the whole redstone dot necessarily every single time, but yeah, you should be able to pulse it and it stays open or closed. Minecraft Snapshot 23w43a, perhaps the most beautiful snapshot of all time. What do you think about the brand new 1.21 blocks? Which one is your favorite? You let me know down below. Smash like and subscribe. Thank you all so much for watching. Until next time, it's been me, Waddles, and I'll see you tomorrow. Goodbye.